What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cab Show. We got the NBA Semifinals. I love it. Shout out to the Minnesota Timberwolves. They really surprised me. I thought the Denver Nuggets would come out, at least tie the series. But right now, it looks like Minnesota's going to sweep right through the Denver Nuggets. And I'm looking at Denver and thinking, what is up with them? What's the cause of them losing these games? I mean, Jokic is doing his thing, but only 16 points in game two, 16 boards. That just isn't enough. And I'm looking at Jamal Murray and realizing that, hey, he is getting locked down. He's getting checked in only 8 points in game two. I mean, that's not cutting it. He's going to have to put up 30 points a game for them to make this competitive series, or else they're going to get swept. I mean, Minnesota really is on a tear. Even without Rudy Gobert, game two he missed because of birth of his child. And I thought, hey, this is an opportunity for Denver to win game two, make it 1-1, go into Minnesota. But no, it's 2-0. Minnesota's just sweeping right through these guys, making them look like rookies. And I'm really concerned about the Nuggets because they have no answer. They can't lock down Anthony Edwards. Everybody's comparing him to the baby MJ, which I get. Yes, he does have that ability that MJ did when MJ first came into the league back in the 80s. But right now, Anthony Edwards is on a mission. I'll give you guys some credit here. 43 points in game one. Game two had 27. I mean, yes, he can put up any type of numbers. He is Jordan-esque-like. My thing is he's got to win championships. One championship isn't enough. He's going to have to win like 4 or 5 championships to get in that conversation to become the GOAT. Like, you know, everybody says MJ's the GOAT, right? Like, okay, like, let's see what happens here. If they run right through the Nuggets, which I think they will, even though I picked the Nuggets at first. Before game one started, I was like, Denver, this is their series. Probably they're going to win in 7 games. But right now, it looks like they're going to lose in 5 games. Like, that's terrible, right? A terrible look for the Denver Nuggets. We look at Denver and realize when they matched up against the Lakers, they were really just like, oh, man, the Lakers were winning most of the game, most of the times. And then come fourth quarter, the Lakers would drop the bag and just fold under pressure, really. But we look at Minnesota and realize Anthony Edwards is that guy. And it makes sense why people compare him to Jordan and all this stuff. My thing is he's got a great supporting cast as well. Karl-Anthony Towns had 27 points and 12 boards in game two, putting up monster stats and really giving problems for Jokic. Even though Jokic is going to do his thing, average triple-doubles, all this. But right now, Karl-Anthony Towns is eating 27 and 12 in game two. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's insane. I mean, the role players are stepping up. Mike Conley still in the NBA. Shout out to Mike Conley, Indiana boy. It's awesome. It's awesome to see Indiana talent make it to the cream of the crop, the NBA, and he's still doing it. I mean, he's been in the league way over a decade, almost 2 decades at this point. Like, he got drafted in what, 2006, 7 time? Like, that is so long ago, dude. Like, that's coming on 2 decades. So shout out to Mike Conley, a true point guard, understands the game, great IQ of the game, doesn't have to do too much, doesn't have to score double figures every game. He can just facilitate. You know, Anthony Edwards, the young cats coming up, let them do all the work. And that's what Mike Conley does. But right now, I'm looking at the Denver Nuggets and realizing without Jamal Murray putting up big double figures, they're going to get swept. It's all on Jamal Murray here. He's the X factor. You know, just a week ago, some experts in the media industry were saying Jamal Murray is a Hall of Famer if he wins this year. Come on, let's stop the break. 0 All-Star appearances. Like, he's gonna have to step up. 8 points in this game, in game two. Like, that's not Hall of Famer worthy for me in the playoffs. He's gonna have to score in the high 30s to like get a consideration here. Like, if this is gonna be a competitive series, it's all on Jamal Murray. It's not on Jokic because Jokic is gonna eat. We know what Jokic is about. He's a triple-double, walking triple-double. But my thing is like Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, 20 points in game two. That is solid. But my thing is the supporting cast. The role players for the Nuggets are not showing up. Not hitting threes when they need to. All this stuff, again, man, like, you're going to have their players step up. Michael Porter Jr. is going to have to step up. You know, all the role players on Denver is going to have to step up. But right now, the role players on Minnesota are locking up Denver Nuggets. And that's what it boils down to. You know, Jamal Murray, only 8 points, dude. He's getting clamped right now. He's getting locked. They're going to have to go to the drawing board. Minnesota is just that team right now. Anthony Edwards is that dude. I understand why everybody's saying the baby MJ, this and that. Like, let's win a championship. Now, if Minnesota wins a championship this year with Anthony Edwards will win Finals MVP. We know that. yes, then the consideration will be like, okay, like, let's see what happens, okay? Like, he's a champion, one championship. Let's make it 4 or 5 championships in Minnesota. Then we can start to say, hey, Anthony Edwards is the baby MJ. He is better than MJ, right? It was what they're going to say if he wins a couple more rings. But my thing is, Anthony Edwards has to win a championship this year. Yes, and I will give him some respect. I love his game. I get it why everybody's saying that baby MJ, comparisons of that. But overall, Anthony Edwards, man, he has that ability, great IQ of the game as well. And he has a good shot. And I think he can develop a better shot over time. But right now, what he's doing, he needs to continue to do it. Get to the cup whenever he wants to. If he gets double teamed, dish it off to the open man. That's what Anthony Edwards is about. And I'm telling you right now, Minnesota looks like they're going to win in 4 and 5 games against the Nuggets. The Nuggets have to turn around defensively as well. They're going to have to put clamps down. Anthony Edwards is going to eat, we already know, 27 in game 2. Him and Karl Anthony Towns. My thing is like Minnesota, like everybody kind of slept on him, including myself. I want to apologize to the Minnesota Timberwolves fan base because I didn't think Minnesota was this good. And they're not really televised that much during the NBA. At least this year they weren't. And I just never really got to see him play that much. I understand Anthony Edwards was on the team and Karl Anthony Towns. But other than that, I was like, oh, it's a bunch of role players and they're not going to run deep. But right now, Minnesota's the team to beat out west. Yeah, they 100% are. Looks like it's going to be Minnesota versus the Dallas Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. I can't wait for that matchup. That's going to be epic. Battle stars, superstar-studded teams on both sides. So I can't wait for that matchup. But it looks like Minnesota's going to really cakewalk to victory here unless Denver Nuggets turn it around with Jokic and company. Jamal Murray's going to have to step up. They really are. And then we got my Indiana Pacers versus the New York Knicks. I told you Knicks in probably 6 or 7 games. Like, I'm looking at the Knicks. They're just built for the spotlight. We look at the Pacers and realize, well, Tyrese Halliburton averaged about 20 points a game in the regular season. Now he's dropping 6 points in the playoffs. Like, how did he even get to the Olympic team this year, Team USA, without Brunson and Kyrie? Like, that is crazy, dude. That's how you know the NBA's get way too political, way over their ears. It's like, dude, like, come on. Tyrese Halliburton on the Olympic team this year, only putting up 6 points. Like, he's like, come on, bro. Like, that's unacceptable. The Pacers had this game in the bag. They should have won game 1. All the Indiana Pacer fans are like, oh, I blame the referees for that. Well, Tyrese Halliburton only had 6 points, bro. Like, he's supposed to be averaging 20 plus. And come playoff time, your numbers are supposed to ramp up. His numbers are going down. He literally had a great first half of the season, great All-Star game, putting up crazy numbers during the All-Star game, literally raining threes after threes. I think he had over 5 or 6 threes in the All-Star game. Then all of a sudden, come at playoff time, he kind of shrinks. It's just like, really, we got role players putting up better numbers than Tyrese Halliburton. Obi Toppin, shout to Obi Toppin, man. He's the X factor, 12 points off the bench. And obviously, the heart and soul of the Indiana Pacers is definitely T.J. McConnell. Shout out to T.J. McConnell, putting it on for the white boys. He's got to play with grit. If you're white in the NBA, you have to have some type of grit, some type of hustle, some type of heart. And T.J. McConnell, he has that. I think they need to start him at point guard. 18 points off the bench. I mean, that's crazy. And then we have Miles Turner, who's a monster, right? He just doesn't play like a bully. Imagine if Miles Turner played angry and played like a bully. He'd be putting up 30-plus points a game. Had 23 in game 1, but my thing is Miles Turner, dude, he just doesn't have that bully inside of him. I don't know. He just doesn't have that killer mentality. Like, Miles Turner has all the gifts in the world, all the athletic ability, all the God-given features that freaking Miles Turner has on the basketball court, has it all, except the mindset. I feel like Miles Turner mindset just not there all of a sudden. Like, he could be putting up 30 points a game easy on these guys. Like, he could be eating on this series. And I think he needs to continue to step up. 23 points isn't enough for Miles Turner. I'm telling you right now, with the talent that Miles Turner has, he should be averaging 30 a game. He really should, dude. Like, Pascal, 19 points. He's been really the heart and soul as well with him and T.J. McConnell. But overall, we look at the best player, supposedly the best player on the Indiana Pacers, and that is Tyrese Halliburton, and you're putting up single numbers, dude, in the playoffs, at Madison Square Garden in game 1 where you guys are leading at halftime. Like, there's no excuse for the Pacers to lose this game. And I'm looking at Tyrese Halliburton and saying, hey, bro, you're going to have to step up. Like, I understand you're playing for Team USA this year, which I don't even know how you got on that squad. And it's just like 6 points, bro. Like, imagine if LeBron James or somebody did that in the playoffs. Never would happen. Like, that is insane, dude. Like, he's going to have to step up. But like I said, TJ McConnell's the heart and soul of the Indiana Pacers right now. He's playing with grit. He gets the extra possessions. He makes the right IQ as a point guard you'd want to see, right? You want to see the point guard make the right IQ plays, the right passes. Everything's great with TJ McConnell. Everything else, Topin, I even think Topin should be like the sixth man right off the bench for the Pacers. Or if not, maybe even make a change here, a little, roster change for game 2 and put Topin maybe as a starter. Like, Topin off the bench is crazy. Like, he's putting up good numbers here. He really is. But like I said, the Knicks, they're going to win this series pound for pound. They have more grit. They have more heart and soul. And that starts with Josh Hart. Shout out to Josh Hart. Really underestimated. Was in L.A. L.A. traded him, which was dumb. Josh Hart, 24 points, 8 assists, dude. Josh Hart, he plays like a mini type like LeBron. He plays like a mini LeBron, a little bit of Westbrook when he drives to the paint. Really just a hard driver, just a hard type of player that you want, dude. Kind of like a TJ McConnell. Just, hard players that's going to give your heart and soul to the game every single game, every single second on the court. And that's Josh Hart, dude. It's not really complicated. It's not like any type of skill. It's just their heart and soul of the game. Shout out to Josh Hart, man. And obviously, like I said, Jalen Brunson's going to eat all series. Everybody kind of slept on Jalen Brunson. A lot of people in Indianapolis were saying, oh, Indy's going to steal game 1. I think they're going to clamp up, Jalen Brunson. I laughed at that. Jalen Brunson had 43. That's a typical Jalen Brunson game. He's going to average over 30 points this series, and he's going to eat, dude, 43 points. And really, he stepped up in the second half when he needed to the most. And then you have OG, 13 points, 9 boards. Devinchenko, 25 points. Yeah, dude, a lot of Villanova cats. The Big East knows how to really produce great basketball players to the next level, and that's what the Knicks are right now. Like, the Knicks just have that grit, man. The Knicks really should have lost this game. I'm going to be honest. The Indiana Pacers should have won this game, but these are the type of games that we're going to look back on in a week or two and be like, well, that's why, Pacers lost this series was because they should have won game 1. They should have stole game 1. Up at halftime. Should have been up at 9. Only up 6, with that fluke, half-court shot. Like, come on, man. By Isaiah Hutchinson. Like, that was just luck is crap. It's just a part of it, though, right? We look at the NBA players and realize sometimes you get lucky. You get lucky, and he's like a center, dude, putting up half quarters and nailed it. It looked nice. It really did. And we saw Tyrese Halliburton after just really, down and out. Does it really need to be showing emotion? You guys are up at 6 at half. Like, at that moment, I'm like, why is Tyrese Halliburton acting like he just lost the game at halftime? Like, my thing is like, for the Pacers, you're going to have Tyrese Halliburton step up, or else you're going to lose this series in 6 games like I predicted the Knicks to win. 6 or 7. The Knicks. That's who I picked. I just think the Knicks are just more a grittier team, dude. Even though the Pacers match up well against these guys, overall, the grit, the passion, the extra possessions, like the Josh Hart type of plays, that's going to be the pivotal factor of why the Indiana Pacers lose this series. And no excuses whatsoever. We can blame the referees, say this and that, but at the end of the day, the Pacers lost them themselves game 1. Like, game 1 should have been the Pacers, dude. Absolutely. They should have won this game, but all the all the attention is pointing at Tyrese Halliburton and saying, hey, step up. So I think in game 2, it would be smart to go Indiana Pacers. I think Tyrese Halliburton is going to be out here really for blood here. And I think Tyrese Halliburton's going to hit the over. I think it's, 21 and a half, something like that. I think Tyrese Halliburton's going to have a game here. Put up 30-plus points and really just shut me up, shut all the naysayers up that are hating on Tyrese Halliburton. Because right now, bro, you're on the Team Olympics in dude, Team USA this year, and you're putting up 6 points in a playoff game that you should have won. Like, that's crazy to me, dude. So I think the Pacers are going to have to turn around. I like the Pacers in game 2. Tyrese Halliburton, I like him with the over as well. So take off Pacers, but I still think the Knicks are going to win in 6 and 7 games in this crazy series. And then we got the Mavs versus the Thunder tonight. Thunder number 1 seed. I'm still going with my gut. I'm going with the Dallas Mavericks here. I'm going with Luka. I'm going with Kyrie. My only concern is with the Dallas Mavericks is their defense. Can they step it up? Can they not give up the second points opportunities to OKC? OKC's young. They're hungry. They got Gordon Hayward, who's been in the league for a while. They got Chet. They obviously have SGA. coming, dude, just straight baller. Straight balling out. I'm telling you, go with the over on him. He's going to go 30 plus a game in this series, for the make this competitive. But overall, I think Kyrie, what I'm seeing from Kyrie, dude, he's cooking, dude. He reminds me, like I said, the 2016 NBA Finals, that whole playoff series. The whole playoff run that the Cleveland Cavs had that year in 2016 was just insane. And I think Kyrie, it starts up with Kyrie here. So Kyrie's going to eat Luka Doncic. He's going to eat, man. Luka, he's going to do his thing. I'm almost a triple-double single-handedly every single game. So I think the Dallas Mavericks, they need to step up their defense. I'm not worried about their offense. I'm worried about the inside. They're big men. Can they step it up? Can they get big and gritty here? So I just think overall I'm going with the Mavericks in this series. Either 6 or 7 games. I think they win in 6 games, though. I really do. If Kyrie's playing the way he's been playing recently, dude, like, that's crazy. It's crazy that Kyrie's not even on the Team USA this year in the Olympics, dude. Like, that's insane as well. Or Jalen Brunson. Like, well, what is the NBA thinking, dude? I don't understand what the motive is of that. Are they trying to just get all political now? It's like, dude, stop it, dude. Like, leave politics out of sports, please, dude. It'll make it so much better. It really would. But I think the Mavs are going to win this series. In Game 1, it's going to be interesting. I think OKC has a better shot at winning Game 1. Has a little bit more rest. Didn't have a banged-up series overall. Still young, but right now, if Kyrie's going to continue to hit big threes, continue to just break dudes off like he's been doing his whole career, nobody can handle Kyrie. Kyrie arguably has the greatest basketball handles that I've ever seen. Just as good as AI, if not better, dude. Which I hate to say, Allen Iverson invented the crossover, would cross MJ over, would cook anybody every single day, any day of the week. But Kyrie, really, his handles are on a string, especially in transition on the full court. Just boom, 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 it's just gone. Crossover behind the back between the legs in half of a second. It's crazy, dude. So I think Kyrie's going to cook this series. I think Kyrie's the X factor. If Kyrie averages over 25 a game this series, I think the Mavs have it in 6. I really do. So shout out to the Dallas Mavericks. I think they're going to really run right through OKC Thunder. But I do think the Thunder should take Game 1. But I think it's going to be an interesting matchup, man. Luka's going to have to step up. And the defense for the Dallas Mavericks is the X factor. But I like Luka. I like Kyrie to win this series. I can't wait for this matchup. And then we got the Boston Celtics versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. We remember the last time they matched up in the playoffs was back in 2018 when LeBron cooked them. LeBron literally cooked all those guys, took it to 7 games. Game 7, LeBron cooked them. Jason Tatum was young. All these cats. Obviously, the Celtics have the easiest path to the NBA Finals. Let's just be honest here. But like I said, the Boston Celtics will not win the NBA championship this year. They just don't have the grit. Jason Tatum's not a grit type of player. Jaylen Brown's not a grit type of player. What the Boston Celtics lack is defense. That's what they lack. Their heart and soul for the Boston Celtics is definitely Derek White. Shout out to Derek White, another guard, another guy that's going to play with passion, another guy that's going to, really rain threes and hit open shots when you need them the most. So I think Derek White is the X factor for the Boston Celtics. It's not Jason Tatum. It's not Jaylen Brown. It's Derek White. Believe it or not, I'm telling you, Derek White is that dude. He's going to really produce a lot of good things for the Boston Celtics. My thing is with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, it's just like them together and Drew Holiday, they have so much depth for Boston Celtics. It's just like, I don't know what it is. The chemistry, the flow of the Boston Celtics seem off to me. They really do. I feel like some nights Jaylen Brown wants to have 30 or 40 a game, and then the other night Jason Tatum wants to put up 40 shots a game. It's just like, dude, you guys are going to have to play as a team. If the Boston Celtics literally played as a team and didn't worry about individual stats, I think Boston Celtics would easily win the NBA Finals this year. But that's not who they are. Jason Tatum wants to be Finals MVP. Jason Tatum wants to be the star there in Boston. It's not Jaylen Brown. That's why I'm surprised Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are still on the same team. They're similar type of players, but it's just like, I just don't think they mesh as teammates. I just don't. I don't know, but I think, the Celtics win in 5 or 6 games in this series. I think they might even sweep the Cavs. I mean, the Cavs, yes, they obviously, I don't really see much from the Cavs besides Davion Mitchell, who puts up like 40 a game, which he's going to have to. Even if Davion Mitchell puts up 40 a game this series, I still see the Boston Celtics really cruising in to the Eastern Conference Finals and playing the winner of the Knicks and the Pacers. And I think it's going to be Boston versus the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think that makes it great, right? Rivalry in its own, East Coast teams, not too far away from each other. So I think it's going to be great for the NBA. But But overall, it's just like Boston, really? You guys have the easiest freaking run for the playoffs in years. I can't remember the last time the Boston Celtics had an easier run. Maybe a couple years ago when they got cooked in the NBA Finals by Steph Curry and Golden State. You guys remember that? I think they lost in 5 or 6 games that series. Steph literally ate on the Boston Celtics, and he was pointing to his finger like number 4. So shout to Steph Curry, even though he didn't make the playoffs this year. I'm not sold on Boston, dude. I think they're prima donnas. I think really they don't have the grit, the heart to win it all this year. I just don't. So I'm not picking Boston to win it. Now, it does look like they're going to make it to the NBA Finals. They did it a couple years ago. And like I said, Steph Curry and company cooked the Boston Celtics. So forget the Boston Celtics. Not a fan. But they're going to win this series easily, hands down. But the most confident pick that I have is definitely the Dallas Mavericks. I think Kyrie and Luka, star-studded, they're going to cook all series against OKC. It's crazy to me that to even think that OKC's the number 1 seed this year. I didn't see it, dude. Like, how? How's OKC a number 1 seed? That is crazy to me. Maybe it'll speak for itself, but I'm taking the Dallas Mavericks to win this series over OKC. And my Indiana Pacers going to have to win game 2. If the Pacers do not win game 2, they're going to lose easily in 5 or 6 games. Now, if they do win game 2, it's going to be a 7-game series, so the Pacers need to step up. Tyrese Halliburton needs to step up and start playing like a girl, dude. Like, step up, bro. Man up. 6 points in game 1, dude. Like, come on, dude. You're a freaking Team USA. Like, come on, bro. Like, that's not good enough. So I think the Pacers need to step up the grit, stop making excuses, and step up and stop Jalen Brunson. But that's not going to happen. Jalen Brunson's going to continue to go with the overall points on Jalen Brunson because he's going to eat all series. That's what Jalen Brunson does. And then Minnesota looks like they're going to run right through the defending champions in the Denver Nuggets. I can't wait for these matchups, man. My Indiana Pacers need to step up. It's the Cloud with Cap show. Let's go!